Welcome to the First India Conference on Innovation, Intellectual Property Rights and Competition at IIM Bangalore. Let me talk a little about innovation and competition law, which will be a feature of this conference. These days, innovation is very much in the news in India. Every day brings news about a new startup, actually not just one but quite a few, typically in the e-commerce area. In fact, Bangalore seems to be a hotspot for startups. A fascinating strand of research in economics deals with the relationship between market structure and innovation. The controversy started with Schumpeter suggesting that competition was detrimental to innovation and that monopolies were better suited for innovative activity. His argument was that innovative activity is expensive and monopolies could be expected to have the deep pockets to carry out innovation. It would also help that a monopolist with market power would be able to exploit the invention for a considerable period of time. The monopolist would then have the incentive to innovate as well. Thus, the monopolist has both the ability and the incentive to innovate. Conversely, most competition authorities believe that competition spurs innovation. Who is right? Well, as usual in economics, it depends on a lot of factors. The first approach would be to say, let's look at the evidence. Unfortunately, the evidence is mixed. The problem starts with measuring innovation. Obviously, there are philosophical issues in trying to measure innovation. An obvious way is to measure resources spent in innovative activity, spending on research and development. Unfortunately, R&D spending is only an input in the innovative activity, and there is no straightforward relationship between R&D effort and expenditure and innovation. The other approach is to count the number of patents. This is also unsatisfactory. Some innovations are not patented, and there is a large difference among patented innovations. Let us turn to theory for a moment. The issue at stake is what is the effect of market structure today on the kind of goods and products that will come to the market in the future. If the market is competitive, will it lead to more innovation and a larger number of high-value products being introduced in the market in the future? Or is it the other way around? Competition authorities have tried two approaches. The first is to look at innovation markets. Of course, that begs the question whether such markets exist. The other approach is to use the potential competition theory, which looks at the effect on perceived potential competition and also on actual potential competition. Though the concept is elegant, it is often more difficult to put it into practice. Some other issues that would be relevant in both theory and empirical work are whether the innovation is drastic or non-drastic. Drastic innovations manage to wipe out the competition. Theoretical work has suggested that big incumbent firms typically do not come up with drastic innovations. It is the small firms on the fringe who do so. There are also differences between product and process innovations and the extent of patent protection that is available. The probabilistic nature of R&D expenditure and innovation is another issue that makes prediction difficult. In some industries, such as pharmaceuticals, the link between R&D and innovation is more predictable. Whereas, in some industries, it is possible to leapfrog the competition with innovative products which seemingly appear out of nowhere. Finally, R&D activity is also linked to other strategic activities of firms. So, analyzing innovation separately is an almost impossible task. Come to the conference for a stimulating discussion on these and other issues.